Hello, it's Robert here from Doomsday Debunked, where we fact-check the stories that scare you. And I thought I'd tell you today, I'd show you how my non-techy version of the Sentry table relates to the techy version. So if you search here for 2006 SF6, and it says it was not found in the Sentry database or as a removed object. Now, if we go over to the techy version, then what that means is you go in there and you search there. It says no matching records found. That means that it's not in the list of ones that they are currently looking at, because there's no risk at all to Earth. Now, the next thing you can do is you can look in the removed objects. And so you go to the removed objects, you enter there, it says no matching records found. That means it's not a removed object either. So then we go here, so that's all that bit means. Then you go there, to that page, and there it is. That shows that we got the right name for the asteroid. So we can do all that just there. It takes 2 clicks instead of 1, but it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks, and then that one, and this does all of those in just 1 click. So it's just a quick way of doing that. Then while I'm here, I might as well show you how the rest of it works. So at the top it says no asteroid or comet warnings. So if once more we go to the techy numbers, then we look at there, and it's in the video that that we used to that I've shared in my earlier versions by Seepjaw and Leaf Slayer. Then he explains there how you do this, but I'll just show it again. So you just go there and you look at this table, and it's sorted. This is the Torino scale. It's the only, that massive numbers, you can just forget about it. This is the only bit that you really need to know. And so it's color coded, and it's got these numbers 0. And that's all it is, the Torino scale number 0. That's all you need to know. And it's sorted with the highest number first. So if there was a 1, or 2, or 3, or 4, that would be the top row. These 3 don't have numbers. These 2 don't have numbers because they are far future objects. That one is 2175, and that's 2880. And this number is only given to objects that have potential in the near future as in the next century. So now, if we go here, and there's also, well, if you go there, it somewhere has the Torino scale. Where does it have its show legend? Then you would go down and you would say Torino scale, and you click there, open it in a new window. You would then open that up, and then it gives you these numbers, which I have just copied over here, Torino scale. So the way you do it with the techy table, you see the number 0 in the techy table, Torino scale, look up that number 0 there, and it says no hazard, white zone. So all I have done here is, if I go up to the tracked table, I have replaced the zeros there, all those zeros, by no hazard, because that is what 0 means, no hazard. If it ever is a 1, which happens once or twice a year, then I will show it as normal. And if it goes 2, 3 or 4, I will show it as meriting attention of astronomers. In fact, you can test that. I'm just testing it with randomized warnings. These are not real warnings. This is just a test. So there we are. We've got some, I've switched off. Now you see, it would say, if there was a serious risk, then you go level 6, serious risk threatening 85 years ago. Serious risk threatening 70 years ago. Away. Level 4, meriting attention of astronomers. level 3, level 2. So if any of those come up, but this will happen from time to time, normal, randomized. And then Apophis got as far as level 4. And then if it ever got up to one of these, then you can be sure that this will be on mainstream news. Indeed, this is very likely on the mainstream news. And this would certainly be. And and even if it gets up there to the orange zone, and it's color-coded orange, and if up here, if it ever got a 5, then you would see the 5 there, and the row would be colored orange. So it's very easy, you can't miss it. If you go to this page, and the first row is white, or green, or yellow, there isn't any NASA warning. And any NASA warnings you see in the sensational press, they're just fake news. If there is an asteroid warning, it'll be absolutely obvious on this page, because the first row will be orange if it's threatening, or it'll be red if they know it's going to hit. And the number there will be 4, 5, and 6, or whatever the numbers were. 2, 3, and 4 for the yellow, and be 5 and 6, 7 for the orange. My randomized thing, I have to keep clicking, and sometimes it'll show you red. I've got it, and that was randomized, no warning. So, yeah, it's got some red ones there. So then if you had a randomized red warning, then you would get level 8 there. You see, certain collision, need to deflect or evacuate, and level 9, and need to deflect or evacuate. And these different according to the size of the asteroid, but otherwise, so if you wouldn't see any of that text on the techie version. All you would see there is a number 8 and row coloured red. Because this is done by mathematicians, and they just don't understand why anyone would want to put words there. They say, you've got the number 0, you've got the legend, go and look up the legend, it tells you what it means. And why would anyone want to put words there? That's how they think. Words takes up more space on the page, it gives less room for the other columns, and it's harder to read, because a 0 is just a single number 0. If it says no hazard, you've got 2 words to read. They just don't. The people who design these tables, they do not understand why people can't just actually, why they don't find a simple 0 as useful as the words no hazard. That's the only reason. Otherwise, they would just have no hazard there. That's all it means. So let's, I've got the refreshed using data, so that'll go back to the normal one. Okay? Oh, yes, there we go. Oh yes, and you noticed how this one went red. So if it was red orange at the highest level, whatever it is on the table goes there. So as we see, the highest level is no hazard. And then if you go to this, if you click on say Apophis, and it brings up this, then if you go to Sentry table and you click on Apophis, you bring up this. Now again, to the mathematician, that is much easier to read than that is, because it's got lots of nice numbers, and they can just look and they know what V impact means, and they know what demand, diameter, mass, energy, and they understand scientific notation, which the ordinary people don't understand. And then they have very helpfully put this thing of turning that into something, alternative representations. But again, most people, they don't even really understand what those numbers mean. So this, and they've got this Torino scale, nice, clear, and 0. Everyone knows what 0 means. Why does anybody want to change that? So they don't understand why. I've actually told someone at NASA, I sent a message to someone at NASA who passed it on to the people who make this table with the suggestion that they could replace some of the numbers by words. I think they're considering it, but they've got a team that have to that do their website for them, and so whether they're ever going to do it, I don't know. So anyway, that's that. And then finally, the removed objects. Then I've got a list of all the removed objects. they've also got a list of the removed objects there. Not necessarily in the same order. Here we are 2019, VF1 2019, VC 219, VE1, it is in the same order, ordered by the date they were removed. And mine are just these little things. If you click on there, it takes you to the ESA page for it, because if it's a removed object it might well have an ESA page. And let's bring up a few more. That's taking a while. These are just different pages relating to that object, so you can bring them up. So mine gives you a quick access to the IUMAN, those are the observations. So you can see all this is an object that is now removed. You've got all the past observations of it. This is the ESA table for it. This is the JPL page for it. So it's much quicker from my one to get to those various pages. You can't get to them from the Sentry table except by doing a Google search. So that's a kind of advantage of mine over the techy table. That's basically it. So that is how mine connects to the techy table, and all this information. I mean, I put the word diameter. They don't have the word diameter. The date range. I don't think there's very much different there apart from that. And then I have the option to add. I leave out most of the columns because most columns people just aren't interested. They don't need to know. And that's really the only difference.